Rndr has been gaining a lot of traction and hype in the markets, and rightfully so, as it is the biggest AI altcoin by market cap, one of the best performers from the beginning of the bull market, and they are continuing to make some very big partnerships and collaborations with some of the biggest companies in the world, including Nvidia and Apple. So in today's episode of the Everything Crypto Show, I want to break down the latest trailer that Apple dropped showcasing the power of the Rndr network, and I also want to talk about some upcoming catalysts that I believe will send this altcoin to new all-time highs. Now, before we hop into the content, just a friendly reminder that I am not a financial advisor. I am simply here for your crypto news and entertainment purposes. And if you do find the videos informative, entertaining, maybe even both, please consider hitting that sub and like button and turn that notification bell on so you can be notified when all of our latest videos go live on the channel. So here is Rndr on CoinMarketCap, and if we take a look at its performance over the past 7 days, up about 13%, up 27.5% over the past month, 545% over the past year. Now, we started covering this altcoin on the channel in 2023, and if we take a look at its performance from the beginning of that year, this coin is up about 2,600% over that time period. It bottomed out at about 40 cents and is currently sitting at $10.97. However, to put things into perspective, if we take a look at the top 100 cryptos by market cap, it has been moving up a lot in the rankings, currently sitting in 24th place, but it still has a lot of room to grow, in my opinion, with a $4.2 billion market cap. I mean, I do believe that this coin does have the potential to make its way into the top 10 in the future. And, we have Cardano sitting in 10th place with 15 bill. Solana's in 5th place with 65 bill. And that's not even to mention how out of hand and how high some of these valuations can get when we are in peak bull market cycles. So that's definitely something to consider, in my opinion. But we're going to talk about sort of like my price projections and upcoming catalysts at the tail end of this video. The first thing that I would like to do is kind of break down what happened over the past week that we saw Rndr rallying so much. And for starters, we did showcase this trailer earlier in the week. This was for the new iPad powered by Apple's brand new M4 chip. And they're basically talking about all the amazing things this chip is going to be able to do for AI use cases. Now, within this trailer, they featured the Octane X platform, and this is in fact powered, this is in fact powered by the Rndr network. Okay, you can see it right there. That is the Rndr logo, and Otoy is the parent company of Rndr that has created Octane X, which, as we just said, is powered by Rndr on the back end. So there's been a lot of speculation about, Apple devices actually being able to power a Rndr node in the future as well. As we know now that Apple is well aware of what they're working on. We spoke in our last video about the discussions that the Rndr CEO, Jules Urbach, has been having with Apple. Because in its current state, the Rndr network is a decentralized GPU rendering platform. It basically offers a blockchain marketplace for idle GPU compute that people are able to tap into for their content creation and for AI use cases. Now, imagine how much more adoption the Rndr network could actually see if every single Apple device was also capable of being a Rndr node on the back end. Now, once again, we saw Jules Urbach feature another trailer from Apple for their iPad Pro M4. And we actually can see on the YouTube channel here it is once again, the Octane X platform, the Rndr network logo right there in the top left. And this trailer has 29.2 million views. Okay, this is not a small deal at all. Okay, we are talking about one of the biggest tech companies in the world, but you could argue this is the biggest hardware tech company in the world. That is pretty much in the majority of households across North America. Less market share in other places, but Apple is a massive company. And now on 2 separate occasions, they have showcased the Octane X platform for their new iPad M4. Additionally, we did see this tweet from Jules Urbach where he actually went to the Apple Store, and you can see right here that on the home screen of the new iPad is the Octane X platform once again. Now, if you are crypto native, you obviously recognize this as the Rndr logo. If you are not crypto native, you may not. However, if you begin to use the Octane X platform and then you look at crypto and you see the Rndr token, you will very easily recognize this if this is on all iPads and Apple devices moving forward. And I think that that is a very intentional and a very smart piece of brand awareness on behalf of the entire team. So we have a tweet here from Machine Alpha. It's pretty mind-blowing that the first few results from Google image search for Apple iPad M4 are shots of Octane Rndr from the official Apple website. Imagine that the second most valuable company in the world is showing off Rndr as the first crypto in their ecosystem before ever mentioning Bitcoin or ETH. This is what the start of crypto mass adoption looks like. And I have to agree with this statement. You know, what the Rndr network has done is they have created an app on the front end that can be used by Apple devices, that can be used by everyday users, but on the back end is powered by the Rndr network, by the blockchain, and by the Rndr token for all of these different use cases, which brings demand and utility to the coin itself. So here are the instances right here, all of which are actually featuring the Octane X platform. And clearly Apple is a fan of what it has to offer. If they're using it to showcase and trying to sell their new product to millions of people, okay? So we've spoken a lot about Apple, even in the last video. If you want a little bit more of a deep dive into what's going on between Rndr and Apple, feel free to check out the last video on the channel. But after I dropped that, we did get this second updated trailer here with yet again another Octane X feature. And now we are looking forward to the next week. I kind of want to talk about what I am looking for coming up and what I'm looking at for the charts. So here's a tweet from the Real Doc Crypto, basically talking about some of the upcoming catalysts for Rndr. So the Nvidia Q1 earnings call, which is I believe on May 22nd. Last time Nvidia beat, Rndr soared on the beat with Nvidia, which makes sense because it do signals, you know, the AI GPU needs. Apple generative AI for Siri, ChatGPT 5 release date, OpenAI Sora release date, which is their text-to-video feature, Nvidia Q2 earnings call, Solana Breakpoint 2024, and staking for Rndr. So here are some catalysts looking out for the rest of the year. And I agree. I do think that there is really just a lot of good news coming out for this project, given the AI hype and the fact that I do believe the market will pick up again in the second half of the year. I do think that Rndr will continue to be one of the best performers. Now, I want to take a look at the chart to wrap things up here, okay? And I want to look at this first of all because we saw a lot of strength from Rndr even on the most recent dip. So, you know, we know that kind of moving into the Nvidia GTC conference that Rndr had rallied really hard up to about, you know, $13. And then after that conference, it basically pulled back here over 50%. Okay. It went from $13.50 all the way down to $5.85, bounced off the bull market support band once right over here, twice right over there, and then continued on its way back to the upside. So it showed a lot of strength at the bull market support band, which historically has been a very important area of support. Okay, if we take a look here at when it crossed over in October of 2023 at about $1.90. That was the beginning of a much bigger move for this coin. Now, if we zoom out and take a look on a 5-year basis, the fact that it actually broke below its 2021 all-time high, but back tested the bull market support band as support and then continued to move higher is once again a very good look for the project in my opinion. When we are below previous cycle all-time highs, that generally is a sign of weakness. However, the ability to stay above it and keep it as support is very strong in my opinion. And, you know, that's why I was really, I just became a lot more bullish on the coin after I saw what a strong move it made back above that level. I always expected it was going to regardless, but to see it happen so quick just shows how much attention is on Rndr right now. And additionally, if we take a look at the Rndr versus Bitcoin valuation, a lot of confluence between Rndr USD and Rndr Bitcoin, where we basically saw it cross the bull market support band in late October, go on a rally, make new all-time highs on its Bitcoin pair, come back down, break below them, once again, bounce off the bull market support band, and boom, it is basically back in all-time high territory versus its Bitcoin pair. So it looks really good on both metrics to me. It looks good on its USD pair. It looks good to me on its Bitcoin pair. And from a fundamental and narrative perspective, I mean, fundamentally, the partnerships are really strong. What the Rndr network is achieving from a narrative, basis, AI has pretty much been the biggest story in the market. Crypto has obviously had a very impressive year and a half since 2023, and Rndr sits perfectly in the middle of those two narratives as an AI crypto coin. So I do remain bullish on this altcoin. It does remain my favorite altcoin, and yeah, I think that a common thing is that a lot of people are trying to look for, the next Rndr, the same way people try to look for the next Bitcoin, the next Solana. I think that we are still early enough in the market cycle where the winners are most likely going to stay winning. Obviously, some new coins do show up along the way, but generally speaking, the coins that are showing strength at the beginning of a bull market are the ones that do tend to show strength all the way to the very end. And yeah, I do think that Rndr is going to just continue to be one of the best performers here in the market. So on that note, I hope you did enjoy the content in today's video. I hope you are all staying happy, safe, and healthy, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out for now.